So we're going to start in constructive rest. So take your bolster, come to lie on your back with your knees bent. Have something underneath your head. And just rest the soles of the feet against your bolster. So finding a position that's comfortable with your knees up. So you kind of might need to adjust the position of the bolster and have it a little bit further away or a little bit closer, so that the lower back is flat, so the back feels fully supported by the floor, but you can sort of let the buttocks go, let the shoulder blades go, and yet the feet are just sort of resting on, the soles of the feet resting on the edge of the bolster, so that the toes are slightly lifted up towards the ceiling. This is something underneath your head. And then resting your hands on your belly, on your abdomen, just closing your eyes and drawing your attention to the flow of the breath. So feeling the breath. Feeling the movement of the abdomen underneath your hands. So not forcing or changing the breath at the moment, just becoming aware of the gentle movement. The belly rising as you inhale and falling as you exhale. And then feeling the connection between the back of your body and the floor. And allow your body to settle onto the floor and feel like the floor is rising up to meet you, to hold the back of your body. So as you're met with this support, you can start to soften, yield the back body down into the floor. Still feeling the movement of the belly. Maybe widening the shoulder blades. Taking the elbows slightly further out to the side. And maybe breathing out through your mouth a couple of times, just as a sigh to slow release. Signaling to your body to start the slowing down process. Letting the back body open. Letting the back of the pelvis open so you feel the sacrum on the floor and the buttocks release and relax. Letting the thighs begin to melt. So the knees are bent, but we're allowing gravity to kind of soften the muscles down. Feeling the skin on your face soften. Relaxing around the eyes, the ears, the nose and the mouth. Beginning to quieten the senses as we move into sort of sense withdrawal and begin to turn our focus inwards for the next hour or so. Knowing that if at any time I'm asking you or inviting you to do something which doesn't feel right for your body, then please just do what does. Listen to your body first. And slowly just moving the bolster away with your feet. Bringing the feet back onto the mat, but without the bolster there. So knees are still bent. Just begin to very gently undulate the lower back. So as you breathe in, you just slowly arching the lower back, grounding a little bit more weight down through the sacrum and into the shoulder blades. And as you breathe out, you flatten the lower back into the mat. Just slightly engaging through the pelvic floor as you draw the pubic bone towards the navel and flatten the lower back. Turning the palms up, fingertips soft. Just a small movement at this stage. Nothing really moving except the lower back, arching and flattening. Just notice how that feels, and notice if there's any sighs that want to kind of escape or yawn. Notice if you need to take any bigger breaths and breathe out through your mouth, any longer breaths. Next inhale, raise the arms up and over the head. Maybe taking the elbows a little bit wide. So the elbows are soft, you're not reaching up through the arms too much, letting the backs of the hands relax on the floor. And coming back to the spine undulation, but this time just making the movement a little bit bigger. So feeling the arch in the back, maybe all the way up to between the scapula, shoulder blades. And then as you flatten the back, maybe just slightly lifting the tailbone off the floor. Still very small movement, really. And feeling how the movement kind of moves your head and neck and shoulders down as you arch. Draw the top of the body down towards the hips, and as you flatten, you use the feet to ground into the mat, and the head and the neck move back up towards the top of the mat. Again, only a tiny movement. The more we kind of focus on these small movements, the louder they become. And then just pausing that motion, taking a breath, and raising your legs. Bending your knees slightly and maybe turning your knees slightly out towards the side, so as if you were holding a giant beach ball between your legs. And then raise your arms to the ceiling and drop the shoulder blades back onto the floor, so the width of the shoulder girdle is supporting the weight of the arms. And again, same with the arms, slightly soften and bend the elbows and soften through the fingers, and imagine that you're holding a giant beach ball with your arms. And very gently, keeping your shoulders and your head on the mat, just start to just very gently roll from one hip bone to the other. Rolling from your hip bone, sorry, you're rolling through the back of your pelvis towards sort of one side of your buttocks, one side of your hips. The arms soft, again gravity working, and also this sort of balance, this fulcrum, pivoting balance. And as your legs move one way, now just start to turn your head and gently move your shoulders in the opposite direction. Again, you might not go very far. It's not about taking your knees to the floor or your elbows to the floor. It's just about creating a really slow, gentle twisting sensation through the center of the body. So the core is very lightly engaged here. You can turn your head, or you can keep your head stationary. As you turn your head, if you do, then just let the weight of the head melt into the floor. So no effort moving the head, not engaging the neck muscles, trying to lift the head. And slowly coming back to center and just straightening the legs up towards the ceiling and just taking the arms out to the side, pausing here for a moment. And then maybe just very gently, tiny circles, just circling sort of from the feet, but you're circling the sacrum on the floor. Tiny, tiny circles in one direction. So feeling as if the sacrum is moving in small circles on the floor. Legs stay as they are. They get a motion, sense of motion, movement here. And then going in the opposite direction if you can. And maybe noticing how the belly softens. And the legs become heavier. Pause. Lower your feet back down onto your mat. And take your hips to the right and cross your right thigh over your left thigh. And just slowly roll your knees down towards the left. You may want to, if they're close at hand, slide a folded blanket or a bolster underneath the knee. We're not going to be here for very long, but we are going to be here for 3 long breaths. So if you want to add a bit of support under the knees, then do so. Breathe breathing in all the way down into the abdomen and breathing out, letting the knees drop more to the left as you reach the right shoulder blade away along the mat. So coming into this sort of relaxed twist. To stimulate the digestive organs, the organs of elimination around the middle of the abdomen. And slowly bringing your knees back up to center and uncrossing your legs, straightening up your hips. Just noticing, taking a moment to rebalance the hips. Noticing any sensations around the front of the belly, maybe the side, the right side. And then taking your hips a few inches to the left and crossing your left thigh over your right. And slowly lowering your knees down towards the floor. If you need to place something underneath your knees, then do so. Reaching the left arm, the left shoulder blade out and away from you. The arms stretching in the opposite direction to the knees. Take 3 long breaths here. Slowly bring your knees back to center. Uncross your legs, realign your hips, and take a breath here. Feeling the physicality of the body, weight of the body. Now the softness and the fluidity of the body. Movement of the breath, the vital life force that energizes, vitalizes you. And slowly bringing yourself up to set up for the first pose. So, for the first pose, you're going to need 2 blankets and a belt. We're going to roll the blankets, so sort of that width. You're going to roll them. And have one for the head. Essentially one for the heart, really, behind the heart space along the spine. And then come to sit sort of at the base of your bit of space probably between you and the rolled up blanket, and take your belt and make a large loop. Put it over you, so kind of bring it down, and position, make sure it's kind of not twisted. position it around the sacrum. So not at the waist, but just sort of around the sacrum and the back of the pelvis. You might need it longer to start with, and then we shorten it. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. And then you're going to take your belt and wrap it around the outer edges of your feet. So hopefully, if everything has gone well, end up with the two bits of the belt at the front and the loop going around the sacrum at the back. So it's sort of got Baddha Konasana legs, the knees dropping out to the side, soles of the feet together. And what the belt does is it will help support the thighs as we lie back. But obviously, if it feels like you need more support underneath your thighs, then you need to put more cushioning underneath that. Does that feel like you've got the belt in the right place, Beth? Okay, great. In which case, then we're going to come back. So, lying back on the blanket, positioning the long blanket so it's between your shoulder blades. And then the horizontal blanket so it's behind your head. So this is quite strong for a restorative pose. Heart opener, inner thigh and groin opener. If it feels like you need to loosen the belt so that your legs can be a little bit softer, then do that. If you need to slide any cushions or more props underneath the thighs to raise them up a little bit, then feel free to do that. Keeping the soles of the feet together also helps to just sort of gently open the knees out to the sides. So there's a bit of space. The blanket along the spine doesn't come all the way up to the neck. So it stops sort of mid, the top of the shoulder blades. So there's a sense of the tops of the shoulders being able to drop back. They're unsupported. You might want to place an eye pillow over your eyes here. Just letting yourself settle into the shape. Taking a moment just to kind of make any adjustments or changes. Opening through the heart space, opening through the whole front of the body. As you breathe in, just breathing into the front of your body. Pausing at the throat center, the heart center, the navel center, the center of the pelvis. As you breathe out, letting everything soften and start to sink. Softening back. over your blankets. Once you feel fully supported, just allowing the body to rest and move to the breath. Maybe feeling the flow of the breath at the nostrils, feeling the passage of air through each of your nostrils. Noticing how that feels. Maybe cooler on the inhale, warmer on the exhale. As you breathe in through both nostrils, imagine the two passages of air meeting, joining in the center of your front brain, just behind the eyebrow center. Resting your awareness there for a moment. The space behind the eyebrow center. Once again, softening the skin of the face. The muscles around the eyes. The jaw. Softening through the tongue and the root of the tongue. And taking that feeling all the way down through the body. Giving yourself some space to pause, to rest with your breath, to nourish and heal, and take whatever you need. And if your mind wanders, gently inviting it back to your breath.
Starting to bring your awareness back and deepen the breath. And when you're ready, just raise one knee towards the ceiling and unhook your foot from the belt. And then unhook the other foot from your belt. And just straighten your legs for a moment. Slide them down your mat. Just letting the circulation flow again through the groins, back down into the legs. And keeping your eyes closed. So staying with that internal space, the focus inwards, rather than looking out and around for that external kind of stimulation or validation. Then slowly, maybe turning to one side, coming up. Slip the belt off. And then take the rolled up blanket that was behind your chest and open it up. And just fold it into three actually. So leaving it as it was, flat, fold it into three. And then take the head blanket and again unroll it. Maybe just fold it in half, placing it back for the position behind your head. So we're going to come into Mountain Brook now. So you'll need the bolster behind your knees. And it's quite nice to take your belt again, and this time just, again, making sure it's not twisted. Just secure it around the thighs. Have quite a bit of space between your legs, so don't sort of glue your inner thighs together. We're going to come down to lie with this flatter blanket behind, up, sort of just above the bra line, behind the shoulder blades. So again, it's another chest opener, but slightly different emphasis. And then adjusting the bolster so that it's supportive
where you need it, behind the thighs and the knees and the calves. And then maybe just exploring the belt a little bit and figuring out how tight you want it, how loose you want it. And taking your arms, quite like having my elbows bent in this pose, but you can take them out to the sides. You can sort of have them down by the side of your body, but it depends on how big your blanket is, which is why I quite like having them elbows bent in a kind of goalpost arms. So we're beginning to stimulate around sort of the chest, heart space. Noticing the breath is more in the chest than it is in the belly. There's a certain energy to this shape. The energy in the upper body and the kind of softening, letting go in the lower body. The pelvis feeling more like it's bowl shape. So feeling that the organs of the abdomen can settle and soften down towards the back of the body, almost creating this kind of deep pool-like effect. Adjusting your pose, and coming to settle, rest with this pose.
breath. And slowly preparing to move. And bending your knees and resting your feet on your bolster. Just take your knees to one side so you come onto your side and slide the blanket away from behind your shoulders. Rolling back so your spine is flat on the floor, feet still on the bolster. Take a moment just to rest and pause here. And then using your feet, slide your bolster up to behind your bottom and then lift your hips. Draw the bolster underneath your bum. And just rest have your sort of sacrum resting on the bolster. And then raise your legs up towards the ceiling. And as you do that, you will probably need to readjust your shoulders and also maybe the head towel. You may need to adjust your bolster slightly. So we're looking to have a gentle rounding of the lower back. So the tailbone is lifting slightly towards the heels. And the lower back, there's no arch in the lower back, it's just slightly rounded. So if you might need to draw your bolster a little bit further away from your hips and down towards your buttocks. Still feel supported. Kind of come to a placement of the legs where they can kind of hold themselves upright. And again, you have the choice of arms down by the sides, so hands kind of down by your bolster, or goalpost arms with elbows bent. Bending the arms sort of distributes the weight slightly more into the shoulders. Personally, I find this a bit more comfortable. But it will depend on the shape of your neck, shoulders. So as always, listening to your body and what you need and what suits you. You need to really explore what comfort feels like in your body, what softening feels like in your cells, in your tissues. Becoming curious and engaged by the sensations in your body. Sort of continual watching and curiosity around what we feel and how different parts of our body feels keeps us very present, grounding exercise. Usually our mind wants to whisk us away into the future or the past. But beginning to inhabit and feel the body. And watch the breath. Can really help us stay present and grounded. We're not going to hold this one for very long. just slowly lowering, bending your knees and just letting the legs drop towards the chest so you feel a kind of deeper stretch through the lower back and also the compression into the tummy. And then taking your hands on either side of your bolster and just slowly move the bolster away from the hips so you can gradually uncurl your spine onto the floor. Just pushing your bolster away with your feet. Just letting your legs be long. You can take your belt off. Just let your legs be long. Just coming into Shavasana pose for a few breaths to rebalance. And then gradually making your way back up. And coming into relaxed kind of Z legs. So right knee, I'm going to place the bolster by the right thigh. Right knee. And you can have that left foot further away, or you can have that left foot further closer to you, whichever feels more comfortable. But most of the weight is on the right buttock. And we're going to do a sort of another gentle twist called I saw it recently called stag twist, which was quite nice actually. So taking the hands on either side of the bolster, we're going to come to lie down. So you may need to prop up your head. You may need to want to prop up the bolster a little bit more. So you've got a bit of a higher bolster. So just sort of figuring out what feels comfortable for you. Gentle twist around the belly as we rest the torso down on the bolster. And then gently shuffle the right hip away an inch or so, so you've got a bit of space between the hip bone and the bolster. If this feels uncomfortable for your hip bone, you can always put another cushion or a blanket underneath your hip. And just letting your head face the direction of your knees. Maybe covering yourself with a blanket. The body temperature started to drop through the practice. Staying warm and cozy is vital for relaxation. Warm, dark, quiet. These are the three key ingredients for triggering our body's relaxation response. So becoming aware of the sensations beneath your fingertips. You're just touching whatever's underneath the carpet, the blanket. Just noticing how that feels under your fingertips. Letting that sensation be the loudest sensation. You slowly start to deepen your breath and prepare to turn to the other side. So in your own time, just coming up, just pirouetting your knees over to the other side. And turning your belly to face the bolster. And slowly working your way down. Knowing that this side might feel different to the other and might need a bit of support underneath either of the knees or that hip. Letting go with the breath, letting go with the body. In the next few breaths, it's beginning to come back up, metaphorically into your body, but also physically. As you deepen your breath, you're just grounding through the palms of the hands to lift yourself up. Gently. Just come onto all fours just for a moment and take the knees wide and just sit back onto your heels and rest the forehead on the end of your bolster. Just a moment in child's pose. Before you then come up, make your way into your Shavasana. So taking whatever you need to support, where you need support, behind the head, behind the knees, under the ankles. Just for these last 5 minutes. Maybe legs just straight out on their own. Eye pillows, blankets. Just getting cozy. And I thought I'd read a poem for your final Shavasana. And let the words land as and if they do. If not, let them drift by. This is a poem by Mary Oliver and it's called The Sun. Have you ever seen anything in your life more wonderful than the way the sun every evening, relaxed and easy, floats towards the horizon and into the clouds or the hills or the rumpled sea and is gone? And how it slides again out of the blackness every morning on the other side of the world like a red flower, streaming upwards on its heavenly oils, say on a morning in early summer at its perfect imperial distance. And have you ever felt for anything such wild love? Do you think there is anywhere in any language a word billowing enough for the pleasure that fills you as the sun reaches out, as it warms you, as you stand there, empty-handed? Or have you too turned from this world? Or have you too gone crazy for power, for things? So like the sun, just letting yourself float, relaxed and easy towards the horizon. into your breath once more. Deepening the breath. And as you deepen your breath, just start to move your fingers and your toes. Bringing movement, life back into your body. Reaching through your hands, through your feet. Maybe starting to yawn or reach your arms up over your head or your legs down and away from you. Stretching yourself back into your body like a cat. Feeling each cell becoming awakened and enlivened by the energy you inhale. Breathing out, just letting go. Releasing, cleansing. Take your time. Come onto your side. And in your own time, just bring yourself up to sit. Just keeping your gaze lowered. Connecting that feeling within as you bring your hands together at your heart center and just bow in gratitude to your heart, your inner teacher. Just acknowledging the spark of life within you, the light that shines within you. Nourishing, honoring, respecting that light. Thank you for practicing with me this evening. Taking the qualities of your practice with you out into the world. Have a lovely evening. Namaste.